I'm at the trailhead of the Lizard Rock Trail. This is down at the bottom of the canyon, and behind me is the noise of the Hill Canyon wastewater treatment plant. Fortunately, after about a little over a quarter of a mile, 3/10 of a mile, we're going to leave this plant behind us for good. We're not going to see it or hear it, and we're going to head on up to Lizard Rock and to the Mesa Trail up on the Wildwood Mesa. Okay, we are just leaving the sewage treatment plant area of the Lizard Rock Trail, and I wanted to point out here across the way is what is commonly known as the Western Plateau. It is open space, but it is not that open at the moment. We're hoping that it'll become open fairly soon. Okay, we're getting up toward a couple of little switchbacks along the trail, and then we're going to start doing a little more climbing. The beginning of the trail was fairly flat. I didn't take any video footage except for at the beginning because of the sewage treatment plant, but now that we're getting away from that, I wanted to point out that we are going to start getting to a little more strenuous part of the trail. Here's a nice little viewing bench that faces off into the southwest. You could come here and sit and watch a sunset, but you have several miles to go before you can get back to your car, so bring a flashlight if you want to do that. There's another view of the Western Plateau, and then on up here is our trail. Now, right ahead of us, I wanted to point out that I almost stepped on a rattlesnake about 20 yards ahead there, and that was because I wasn't paying attention to where I was going. So while I'm not looking at any rattlesnakes at the moment, they're out, and just be aware of them. They're not sitting there waiting for you to come. In fact, they'd like to avoid you if possible. But you will, on occasion, if you hike here often enough, run into a rattlesnake. So just give them some space, let them go on their way, and no harm will be done. Okay, we are along a big bend about not quite halfway up the Lizard Rock Trail. And as you can see, there's a lot of skid marks on that bend, which means you're sharing this trail with mountain bikers. So be alert. Some of them go down too fast. Some of them aren't very courteous. Others are just fine. But even though they're supposed to yield to you, sometimes they're just not paying attention, and you got to keep a sharp eye out for them and get out of their way so that you don't get hurt. Here's a very nice view of Boney Mountain and some of the hills off in the Newberry Park area. Okay, here is a view of Lizard Rock, and there's a couple of people actually on the Lizard Rock right now. We're actually pretty far down. This is one of the first glimpses we get. So we have a series of switchbacks in front of us to go up along this open slope before we get down to the base of Lizard Rock. Here's a few remaining wildflowers in June. There were a lot more of these in March. This is the very end of the Mesa Trail, the western end. Behind me is the route back to the upper parking lot. Right here is a sign telling you that if you go straight, or here, you're going to go down the Lizard Rock Trail down to Wildwood Canyon below. And if you go to the right, here, you're going to head up toward Lizard Rock and points beyond. The trail becomes a game trail once it gets to the top of the hill, but it is a very nice hike. And here is the base of Lizard Rock. We're at the apex of the Lizard Rock Trail, but we're not going there. We're going here. I mentioned at the beginning of this hike that this part of the Lizard Rock Trail is a game trail, and it's a well-worn game trail, but it is not a maintained trail. In fact, in a short distance, we're actually going to be outside of the park boundary of Wildwood Park. So we're going to take this all the way down to Hill Canyon Road, and I'm just giving you a little bit of a flavor for what this little game trail is like. Okay, the trail heads up through the brush up toward the rocks, and then just over to the right side of the rocks. We have to actually climb to the top of that, so there'll be a little bit of scrambling up ahead. Okay, up there is where Lizard Rock is. We just came down there. Thought I'd give you a little pan of Box Canyon down below, and then up to where we are going to have to do a little bit of rock scrambling. This is no big deal. Alright, here's a view down at the scrambling we just did. Okay, we have the scrambling behind us now, and this also marks the end of the game trail. For the remainder of the hike, we're going to be on a dirt road, albeit a very poorly maintained dirt road. This dirt road provides access to utility crews. There's a very large gas pipeline that runs along the road here. In fact, right here is the telltale signs of a gas pipeline. A little warning sign and a little junction. Alright, well, this is the beginning of some switchbacks that'll take us all the way down to Hill Canyon Road. We're quite a ways up still, but I thought you'd enjoy this nice little view of Santa Rosa Valley down below us. Okay, we're looking back up at a switchback we just came down and a precariously suspended gas pipeline that travels across this little arroyo. Down below us is Hill Canyon, and that road down there is Hill Canyon Road. Can you hear the water down there? We got one more switchback to go before we get to the bottom. That's the Conejo Creek. The Conejo Creek and Wildwood Creek merge at the Hill Canyon treatment plant and head out through here, and eventually they join into the Coligües Creek in Santa Rosa Valley down below, and then travel all the way out to Point Magoo. But there's some rapids down there, so you can hear them almost all the way down the hill. Here's the gate at the bottom of the Lizard Rock Trail. Right here is Hill Canyon Road. As you can see from cars parked along Hill Canyon Road, you can park down here from Santa Rosa Valley and head back up the trail if you like, or head back into Hill Canyon. Choice is yours. This is my halfway point, so I'm going to head up the hill and head back to my car at the upper parking lot in Wildwood Park. Since we're doing a short little return trip, I thought I'd go ahead and show this cool looking ridge line that we're going to be traveling over. A setting sun off in the west. Near the end of my hike. This is one of the many reasons why I hike. I hope you enjoyed the video.